So this isn't something I normally do. As I'm getting back into Warcraft, with Classic coming back out, I logged on to some old characters I haven't been on in quite some time. This is a newer character, so this isn't nearly as old. The other characters were offline for probably 14 years maybe, some of them maybe 15 years, 12 years, you know, a long time. This character, I got up to 92. I played with her later. Mostly I went back and soloed old stuff that I hadn't, you know, either stuff I wasn't able to get before or, you know, just had fun seeing old content. So she has a lot of older items that aren't around anymore. Some older random things. Start off with mounts probably. I don't have many old... I have a couple of older mounts. I'll let you guys kind of see them as I scroll. Some things I honestly don't know what's old anymore or interesting. Some things... There's a few that I know that are kind of cool. There's a... I don't know. That's not the ZG Raptor, but that's some other Raptor? I don't know what that is. That's kind of fun. Rivendares I have. That was kind of... Back in the day, that was the only other mount you can get, pretty much, other than faction mounts. Through the rest here, a lot of this stuff is just kind of the common things. And I also have the ZG Raptor. So that's kind of fun. This little grub was a really fun instance back then. Other than that, I don't know what's particularly interesting, so just show them all, I guess. Little pets, whatever, they used to not be battle pets, but they used to just be regular pets. I don't know much about it all, so I'm just gonna bring them up, scroll past them, pause if you need to. I don't know what's interesting, really. The only one I do know that's kind of fun is the old, I'll get to him, I can't remember his name. It's the old stuff, though. I never collected these too much. I was usually a hunter, so this was... I always had a pet anyway, so getting extra pets just wasn't a thing to me. Yeah, that's the... I don't know what's neat or not. Oh, Warbot, that's the one. That was the old Mountain Dew one. That was one of the ones... You needed a reagent, I think, to fill his packs up. I forget now. It's been a while. Other than that, that's all of them. Toys just about didn't exist, or they were trinkets or something a long time ago, so I don't have many toys. I definitely don't know what is neat, so just scroll through and you can see them. Don't know. Heirlooms, a few, because she was around later. And appearances are so... There's so many appearances, I don't even want to get into it. Too many. But to the bags, what I actually had... Oh yeah, and she did have some titles. I don't know what titles are neat. Titles didn't exist very much in vanilla, so I never kind of kept track of them, but there are the titles. Stuff in bags. All this stuff is kind of random, regular stuff. Just random kind of bag items for the level. Nothing too interesting over here, I don't think, but I'm going to scroll through it because I don't know if anything is neat or not. So y'all can decide that. Just reagents, food, you know, hunters needed pet food back then, needed other things, needed ammo, legendaries that aren't legendary anymore, because whatever, random BOE stuff. This is some level 60 stuff that I always thought was neat, some of which I think you can't get anymore. The ZG stuff, it doesn't exist. Old Hunter Quest items that don't exist anymore. Hikari blades that don't exist anymore that were great. Level 70 items. Some of this is transmog gear. I think I got that one for transmog because it looks neat. Other random items. I don't know. These are all toys and stuff. I think I got that one in the mail recently. Some blue items. Some level 70 epics, I guess, or level, whatever this, what level is this? Level 80 epics. I soloed for again, just for fun. This was part of a transmog set. When transmog first came out, you had to keep items in your bags, or you couldn't transmog to them, so that's why I have them. A few plans and stuff that I kept for whatever reason. A few other items. Zul'jin Slicer was an old ZG skinning knife. Old Hunter items. Finkel Skinner from Upper Blackrock, excuse me. Dalrins, both of them from Upper Blackrock, which you can't get anymore. A few other items. Just stuff I thought was neat. Nostalgic stuff. These items, I don't really know if anything's cool, but here it is. Tabard Christmas hats. Sawbone shirt from Trollomance. I think that's from Black Market only, maybe? I don't know. Chromatic Carapace doesn't exist anymore, I think. Nixia Scales, it's from the Hunter Quest. And then these are old bags from my brother. I have a few of those things kind of laying around. Brother-made items that I like to keep. Old ammo. The bags are mostly all kind of boring on here. Old quivers and stuff. Old lamina. Of course I had it. But okay, on to the next character. This is the Paladin. This is on another account I played on. Mostly later level stuff. The time capsule's on another account, which we'll get to see here in a little bit. These things just have some, they're moderately old, but not super old, and there's some interesting items on them. Could be fun to see. This Paladin I mostly tanked on, sold a lot of stuff on just for fun, just went back and AoE farmed a lot of things, because it was really, really easy on Paladins at that point. He has, of course, all the same mounts. I don't know, we didn't have a countdown back in the day, so all the same mounts, all the same titles, all the same pets, all the same everything else. Items, he's got Dartel's Rod, because, you know, that was fun back then. Seal of Ascension, stuff you can't get anymore. Rods. Unclicked items, because normally you had to carry things in your bag back then. A lot of BOE greens, probably just from boss drops that were dropping, you know, the BOE stuff. A lot of timeless items. I completely forget where these things are from. It was something higher level, I remember, but I don't know. This is all part of the tank set, I think. I had a tank and a DPS set, so it was just a mixture of, you know, level 80 items gotten from wherever it was that they were gotten from. Some old Lightforge stuff. Old Zul'Farrak sword. Old Upper Blackrock Spire shield. Carrot on a stick, of course. Some Molten Core items. Some Blackwing Lair items. Some higher level stuff. Fire Festival stuff. Some of that stuff, nobody cares about that. Yeah. So that's his stuff. A few things over here: tabards, chromatic carapace that you can't get anymore apparently. Mature black dragon sinew that maybe I shouldn't even be able to pick up. I don't know. That used to be anybody. I want to say you could even sell that on the auction house in the day. I don't remember. You had to get blue and you had to get black, and I can't remember. One of them was bound and one of them wasn't. Some random soul-bound items. This guy apparently soloed Anixia a lot. I totally forgot about that because I have a bunch of the old Anixia bags. It was a free bag, so I got it. And I think that was the Zul'Gurub bag. I forget now. It's been a while. Okay, on to the next character. Alright, here's the other count. This was the actual old one. This one probably hasn't been online before I logged in for the first time for probably something like 13-ish, 14-ish years, 12 years, I don't know, a long time. I assumed the account was gone. Blizzard got it back, so I'm quite impressed with their how they keep data, so that's cool. So yes, I've obviously played this account a little bit in the meantime. I made this character and got him up to whatever, 101 and 600 gold laughably in a day, yesterday I think. The rest of the characters are all old. This is an original level 1 character. This character I made and played up to level 8 for a Kodo hide bag that you can only get from Horde side. I was mostly Alliance side. Some of these other characters, this is my wife's very first character, that's her other character, but let's go in and kind of see him. This guy doesn't have much of anything on him that's interesting. Like I was saying, he was leveled to level 8. He got the quest for the Kodo hide bag. Death ran him down to Tanarus, where the auction house was, cross-faction, and logged him out. Sold it to myself and logged off. This character is pretty much untouched. The random stuff in your bags way back in the day. The starting gear pretty much, and maybe a few white upgrades they gave us along the way. I don't know, some of this stuff might be interesting to some of you really old players. No titles, no equipment manager, doesn't exist back then, so that's him. He's in Tanarus. He stands around, and I logged into him, and there were a couple of higher level people standing around, and a few of them were asking if I was lost or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, it's been a while. It's probably what that guy's looking at right now. So logging out, get on the more fun characters. This one's a little bit neat. This was a level 1 character I made and ran her straight to Ironforge through Stormwind. So she's unleveled other than experience that she gained from, you know, exploring new areas. So she's a level 1 with 160 XP. She was made back in vanilla. She is as she was back then. So that's sort of neat. I don't know if any of this stuff is new or interesting anymore. I mean, this is what she came with. You started off with, you know, a robe and a mace, and that was all. Random things. I use this as a bank, but I didn't use it heavily. I didn't do a lot of banking. So there's a few things that I carried around. That's brother made item. Collar. This showed up in my bags. It's the account bound stuff or whatever. That's the Kodo hide bag I made. I think I made one of those just to say I'd done it, send it as a bag. And my full twill set that I kind of joked around with back in the day. I always used to play around and say that there was a 9 of 9 set bonus. Of course there wasn't. No titles, no nothing. This guy I made I probably played him the very least. I made him and I explored Ogrimmar on him, and that was it. I like ran him to Ogrimmar, explored it, because you couldn't get there otherwise. You couldn't just walk around there as Alliance or anything. So I wanted to see what the city was like, and logged him in, logged him out. I'll actually see what his played is. It's probably something pretty small, maybe a few hours. I'll be interested to see that. He does have one sort of neat item. Let's see. What do you got? 2 hours. 2 hours total. So, a low-level vanilla character with 2 hours total on it. Ultra old and ultra unused. Wait for everything to log in. This computer is not all that great. What do I have? Oh, map. This is the random stuff you started with a long time ago on a Horde character for any of you Horde people. You had some meat. I guess I killed maybe 1 or 2 people. You got some shells. I think you started off with that. And you got that item. This is the stuff you started with. I think Brawler Tarns, people make a big deal out of that one. I don't know, that's just what you had. Like, people say I still have mine from, level 1 or something, but this guy is level 2, he still has it. Next character, that one doesn't have anything interesting on her. She's just a, if anybody wants to see it, let me know, and I'll do one of her, but she's just a average geared level 20, nothing too fun. This is my wife's old rogue. It's she's got some interesting old roguey items. Some people make a deal out of some of the old rogue stuff they don't have anymore, or how much they've changed rogues over the years. So she's kind of fun to see. Thistle tea and that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't get to be rich. She is not that old. But she has some other weird things that old rogues might like to see. I never played rogue, but I'm assuming that's some kind of quest item for lockpicking or pocket picking or something like that. Kind of neat. Other random items. Old bag. Old ammo, because rogues had ranged weapons. Thieves' tools and stuff. Old poisons. I hear rogues talk about that, their old poison things. Old fishing pole, bandages. A few quest items, a few greens. A few of that. And I got really excited there for a little bit, but then I realized it was a soulbound version. So this character is old, but I guess not. I guess she didn't get that before 1.3. I think that was when it went soulbound, so I don't get to be rich. Otherwise, just random. This is what a character looked like at level 30 in vanilla. And she was actually probably a pretty well geared 30. My main had enough money to, send her money and make it easier for her, so she was able to buy things. I made her those blue gloves. This many greens didn't happen that often at level 30. You had still white items and stuff like that, or no items. You didn't have anything in that slot. So that's kind of neat. Wish that was BOE, but honestly, I'll probably keep it even if it was. That's about all she has. I don't know if she did any cooking or anything like that. Not much. Yeah, nothing that great. Again, no titles. Didn't exist. Next character. This is an old 29 twink. She's kind of fun. She's got a few weirdnesses of being so old. Most of her stuff is, I don't think, if I remember at the time, I don't think it was all like best in slot, absolutely the best twink gear you could get, but it was all pretty good. I mostly healed on her. I would make some warrior twink get the flag and then just follow him and heal him or her. With that kind of setup, nobody could stop us pretty much. Random things. A few items are... I mostly ran around in kind of tank heal gear just so I was real durable. Sometimes I would do DPS, so I have a few of the weird old DPS items. Some of the enchants. I think you can't get enchants on low-level gear anymore. Some of the stuff I might be wrong about. Honestly, it's been so long that I don't really remember stuff. Crusader on that. I don't know. Random things. Her gear is kind of interesting. Two of the things. I'm level 29 and these things are level 30 because they didn't used to be. They used to be level 28, or maybe they were quest items. I don't remember. But yeah, they're on, but I can't use them. Like I can get my shield off, but there's nothing in my hand. I can't swing it or can't do anything with it. But all of her gear, kind of fun. Spell power, Grandmaster stuff. Just kind of the stuff that was good for her. The bags were just random room cloth. That was kind of what you had back then. No titles, they didn't exist. Reputations, didn't care. Next character. This was the main. This was the guy I played most of the time and put most of the work into. He was played from not the very beginning. I wasn't like, vanilla beta or anything like that. I was a few months after vanilla came out. So I wasn't, the tip of the spear more or less, but I was pretty early. Played majority on this guy. I really didn't make a lot of alts at the time. The only ones I ever put any time into were the DPS Warrior you'll see in a second, and then that twink that, just didn't take a lot of time to get geared. His fun stuff, the rare stuff for him, he might be the most interesting, but he is not the best time capsule because I got him up to 70. He does have some Knight Lieutenant and Hand of a Doll titles. I don't know. Those are hard to come by these days, apparently. His reputations are kind of fun because he was played a lot. He got exalted in quite a few things, so he's kind of unusual in that regard. I like to cook on him, and cooking was just random stuff. But the only one I do know that's really cool is dirges I have. The other stuff, I don't know if anything else that's rare. So you guys can look, pause if you need to. I don't know what's stand out other than dirges. I do not have Thistle on here. I didn't know about that back then. I'm sure you could buy it for a lot less money back then, but didn't know. Savory Deviant was cool back in the day. And he was a leather worker. He has a few of the pretty unusual rep grind items. But a lot of the stuff, I don't know if it's anything neat. I mean, I remember the stuff that I worked hard to get, but that was the kind of the neat stuff back then. A lot of this stuff was fire resist gear, or this was the leather workers made a lot of some random resist gear items, shoulders, and fire resist was important back then. Red Dragon Scale, I think, is one of the really hard to come by items. I think it's a super low drop rate, if I remember correctly. You saw that on the other. I think I had that pattern on the other one because I got it and kept it. The other stuff, I don't know. Keep on going through. Then they made some high-level frost resist gear for Nax that we had to, every instance had a resist that you got on. Some of this stuff was just kind of hard rep grinds or ZG items, maybe that's interesting. I don't know. Sandstalker. Those are probably still around. Down through the rest. Leggings, I remember being these ones. They only dropped from one character, I believe, in Blackrock Dips, so that took me forever to get those. And Dragon Scale Boots was a really hard rep grind. The rest of the stuff, those are fun. The Nixia Scale, those are fun. You had to have those for Blackwing Lair. And something else. Ogre Suit, that's kind of neat. To the items. Most of the stuff down here is again just boring stuff. Random items. Rewind and pause if it's something neat. I don't know that any of this stuff is actually neat. But just in case it is, mouse over it so you can see it. Level 70 stuff, more so. Reagents, fish. Different things. Mana potions because, yes, hunters had mana. Water because, yes, again, mana. Lots of food because you had to feed your cat all the time. Bandages. Potions, meats. Cloth. Just from farming. Mounts used to be items in your bags, so they're still in my bags. This is how I logged in, so here they are. They just hang out. Seal of Ascension before it's made up. Some old tabards. Some old bags. Some old jewels. Voodoo Mask from Zolgrub. Some other items. Some plans. Level 60 stuff that I saved. I don't really recall why I have that, but other things. These are some old Nax 60 items. Those are pretty fun. We got up about halfway through Nax, so that was neat to get some items off of there. Carrot on a stick. Back when hunters had melee, those gloves were wonderful. Drake Fire, Finkles, Giant Stalker gloves. The 2 fist weapons. Out of ZG. Astrathal. Lockdelar and Rockdelar, of course, because I did the quest at that time. This is a weird crossbow. So back in the day, crossbows... These 2 crossbows, Astrathal and Steel Arrow, were both 3.4 speed. That meant, before weapon normalization, that they were some of the best DPS weapons in the game. I was literally using this in Molten Core and up through Blackwing Lair until I got this and upgraded. So this was the upgrade. A lot of people didn't catch on to that. Quite a few hunters that were unhappy with me out DPSing them at that point. Level 70-ish stuff, I think. I don't know if this is neat. Some of it's kind of cool, but it's just old. Stuff that I wanted to keep at the time. Old ammo, because you have to carry ammo. A lot of ammo. Other random lower level things. Pets didn't go in a log, they were in your bags, so they are still in my bags. Barovs from where it was, Sholomance, or one of the undead ones. Other level 70 stuff. Piccolo, because that was cool. Orb of Deception was one of the first, maybe the first toy. I want to say that was a trinket at some point. Was that not a trinket? It was something else? I don't know. The bags, old Onyxia hide. I actually got lucky and won a roll on that one. Old sinew wrapped lamina. Other bags. Travelers were the way to go pretty much back in the day. Other random stuff. A little level 70, a little level 60. Ogre Tannen, back from Dire Maul. Scale Strathome Holy Water. And Eternal Quintessence, because of course I had that. And a Salt Shaker. And that was his stuff. His mounts, not a lot. One that's kind of interesting though is the bear. I was around for that, so I had the bear. Other than that, they're all kind of the boring ones. Pets, he didn't have many pets. I didn't do a lot of pet stuff. Toys, again, even less toys than the other account. I got that, whatever leash. What was that? I thought that had to do with hunter pets. I don't know what it does. Clicked on it, didn't do anything. Appearances, I don't even want to get. There's too many appearances. So yeah, that's him pretty much. On to the last character. So this is probably the best, one of the best time capsule kind of characters. She has that in her hand. That's not how she used to DPS, because you couldn't put a two-hander in there. This was the alt DPS Warrior that sometimes I tanked on, sometimes mostly I DPS'd on, just for extra fun. So she is heavily geared in Zul'Gurub stuff, because that was kind of where you geared your alts. If you were a OK Raider, you would do alt runs in Zul'Gurub for fun. She has, I think she's a Sergeant Major, so she has that title. Her reputation is not quite as interesting. Yeah, because I didn't play her very much. But the stuff in her bag, and she didn't cook worth anything, so she doesn't have anything that neat. Bag stuff, again, this is what a level 60 walked around with. So, just random bits. This is the tank items I would have. Some of the stuff that's in the bag is tank item gear. Zul'Gurub gear that you can't get anymore. I never did get the other claw. Onyxia, made by an old friend. Again, mature Black Dragon Sinew. Squirrel Blocks, Blood of Heroes. Some tabards. Mount your bags because that's where it was. Chained Essence, Dartel's Rod again, Deathbringer. That's what I usually. That was my main hand DPS. Halberd from I forget where that's from. Some tank items. That is a sword that dropped from some random boss in Sholomance, if I recall. It was during the Scourge invasion. That might be the most rare thing I have. Just because it was a temporary boss that went away. It was a good tanking sword, so that's why I have it. Carrot, trinkets, Quel'Serrar, because, you know, it was a good tanking sword also. Ammo, oh, they mailed me those things. Other DPS stuff. There's an old quest in Burning. Oh, I forget where. I always did that on my hunter because it was great for agility. The more tanking stuff, some ZG items, some AQ20, that was the other place you would go to a lot as an alt. Heroism, that's the 0.5 thing, I think. And then bags, nothing super impressive, I don't think. Nothing neat. Other old things made by a friend again, so I like to keep these items. Eternal Quintessence, of course. Breakfire. That was for Herbing and ZG. Shovel. And then her actual DPS gear. Black hands, of course, because everybody had that. Hand of Justice, because it was wonderful. Other items from probably ZG or AQ20 stuff. Made by a friend. ZG belt. Another made by a friend item. Anger Fury. ZG chest. ZG bracers. Old Onyxia axe. And old Onyxia dagger. So, she did pretty good DPS for the day, of course. And that's pretty much her. She's kind of the best time capsule from level 60. She didn't do much of anything else. I played on her a little bit up until then. I tried to set up her bar just to kind of play around with it and see how it went. Just to kind of toy with her, but she's not earned anything or done anything since then. She had that title. There's the tank set. The Quelsarar, of course. That's about it. If there's anything else you guys want to see, anything in the bags that I skimmed over, or characters that I didn't do that weren't that interesting to me, let me know, or questions, ask away.
See you